Welcome to aminacademy.com. In social psychology, let us discuss about miserliness and stinginess. For many, wealth may seem like an unmitigated goods. The more of it you have, the better. After all, wealth brings all sorts of advantages like improved health, greater freedom, and control over your life. Nicer things, respect from your friends and peers. Yet, new research suggests that wealth may also come with a certain cost and impact our social interactions in ways that we overlook. The empathy gap. Life for the poor can be challenging. Fewer resources to meet basic needs, more instability in one's home and work life, and more threatening living environments. For this reason, you might assume that people in the lower social classes would be more self interested and less likely to consider the needs of others than wealthier individuals. You can afford to be nice, but really not. But a growing body of findings suggests that the opposite, that it is those with fewer resources who attended more to the needs of others. For example, one of your studies found that people driving the oldest, cheapest cars were more likely to stop for an experimenter that was waiting to cross the street at a crosswalk. Those with the means to drive nicer cars were more likely to blow right through without stopping. This may reflect basic differences in how much the rich and poor attend to the needs of others around them. Whereas wealthy folk can rely on their money when times get tough. The poor are more dependent on others and invest more in their relationship. Data show that lower income individuals spend more of their time socializing with other people than their more well to do counterparts who spend more time alone. From this, we can decide that rich people are more likely to miserliness or stinginess than poor. Now we'll discuss further details. Look at here. Miserliness and stinginess from a social psychology perspective represent a complex interplay of personality traits. Personality traits, emotional factors, and life experiences. These behaviors, characterized by an excessive unwillingness to spend or share resources, can significantly impact relationship, self-esteem, and overall well-being. Understanding the underlying causes, which can include childhood trauma, fear of scarcity, or personality disorders, is crucial for addressing these behaviors and fostering healthier attitudes towards money and relationship. Excessive frugality. What is excessive frugality? Stinginess goes beyond normal thriftiness, involving an unwillingness to spend even when appropriate or necessary. Miserliness, stinginess, and excessive frugality, while related, represent different degrees of reluctance to spend or give money or resources. Miserliness is the most extreme form. Miserliness is the most extreme form, characterized by an intense and pathological unwillingness to part with possessions or wealth, often to, to the point of hoarding and neglecting one's own needs. Stinginess is a tendency to be excessively frugal, particularly when it comes to sharing with others. Excessive frugality while also focused on saving money can be positive trait if it's balanced and does not lead to deprivation or harm to oneself or others. Fear of loss. A core component is often a deep seated fear of losing control over resources, stemming from past experience of scarcity or emotional deprivation. Impact on relationship. Stinginess can strain personal and professional relationships, leading to isolation and resentment. Psychological roots. Childhood trauma, anxiety, and low self esteem can contribute to the development of stingy behavior as a coping mechanism. Miserliness and stinginess, as seen through the lens of social psychology, can be rooted in a complex interplay of psychological factors such as low self esteem, anxiety, and scarcity mindset. These feelings can lead individuals to hoard resources, impacting their relationships and financial well being. Potential for change. While deeply ingrained, stinginess can be addressed through self awareness, therapy, and by understanding the underlying motivations. Conscientiousness. Conscientiousness versus greed. It's important to distinguish between healthy consciousness, that is careful budgeting and planning, and miserliness, which is driven by a fear of loss and lack. Social economic implications. Stinginess can have broader social and economic consequence affecting community well-being and individual financial stability. Why women had stingy men? As stinginess is a basic trait that pervades one's entire personality, it causes ongoing damage to a relationship. Generally, beginning with money, stinginess tends to develop into a lack of kindness, respect, and mutuality of care. Stingy people experience a deep and enduring sense of deprivation, which inclines them to feel insecure, suspicious, and desperate, desperate for control. At the beginning of relationships, stingy people often hide these negative traits, but it emerges with a vengeance when the relationship deepens, at which time a partner often finds herself shaking her head in shock. In summary, stinginess is more than just being careful with money. It's a complex psychological trait with deep roots in past experience and personality. Recognizing the psychological factors involving and seeking professional help can be crucial for individuals struggling with this behavior to improve their relationships and overall well being. Now, so far we discussed about in social psychology what is miserliness and stinginess.